stars,
Hey
welcome
guys.
back to my channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, night, whatever it may be. Know that you're awesome and wonderful, and I'm so glad you clicked on this video today, especially because this is a video we've been waiting so long to make. This is our adoption story video. So in this video, we're gonna be sharing about how we were able to become parents of a sweet, precious boy named AJ. So those of you who know me know I'm a big kid. I relate to kids more than I do adults. I just love their wonderment, their innocence, how they just like to speak their mind, and they're just so much fun. And I've always wanted a big family. I come from a big family, Jacob comes from a big family, and I've always had this heart for adoption. My daddy, who was adopted, he's in heaven now, but it changed his life forever, being adopted into a loving family. And Jacob's mom was also adopted, so I've always wanted to adopt. I also had this reoccurring dream about a little boy in overalls, and I knew he was my son. And I just remember being on a hill and him giving me a flower, but that dream just kind of stuck with me as I was growing up.
So it all started with a text message. My sister, just out of the blue, just sent a text message and said, here's the story. AJ, this boy named AJ is gonna be up for adoption. Would you guys be interested? And it was like, wow. And so we got a little bit more information, but I think like our initial response just after hearing just a tiny little bit was yes. And we would come to find out a lot of information. So we got on the phone with his grandma, and his grandma began to just tell us his upbringing, and our hearts began to break. So we learned that AJ was born with Down syndrome, and he grew up in a situation where he was exposed to amphetamines, he had marijuana in his system, and because of that, because of the situation, he experienced neglect and trauma. So as we heard that, like our hearts just like sunk in our chest. Like it's just so hard to think.
I really do believe that his mommy and daddy did love him very much, and they wanted to keep him, but due to the poor decisions that they had made, they weren't able to properly care for AJ. And even with Jacob and I, we have both made a decision in our lives not to do drugs or anything that would keep us from living our life to the fullest. We don't believe that we could find fulfillment in that, though we understand why so many people turn to those things to try to cope with the difficulties and the trials and maybe the upbringing that they had. But for us, we have just chosen not to do that.
So after we heard the story, we said, can we meet him? And so that was the first step. So his grandma brought him over to our house, and immediately we just got to see AJ in his element. He hopped in the little car toy that we have and just started running all around, and he saw Lyric and just kind of kept playing.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the first day he came into our lives for us to meet him, he was wearing overalls. Hear the crickets, see the moon. There was just confirmation after confirmation. Even with him having Down syndrome, I've always been captivated by children with special needs, and being volunteering since I was a kid with special needs in school, doing the Special Olympics as a volunteer in high school, and having the privilege to work from K through 12 with special needs kids as a sub-temp for many years. This was just like all like, I feel God saying yes, yes, yes.
During this time, AJ was in the custody of OCS, so that's the Office of Children's Services. I think every state in America has a department that steps in when these family situations deteriorate. And so I talked to the caseworker, and she just asked me, will you guys be willing to adopt AJ? And just kind of put us on the spot. And I just kind of thought about it for a minute, and I know I was hesitant and I was thinking of all these things, but I said yes, because it was worth it.
Yes, and it was all worth it. Like, I know some of the things that I was thinking about was AJ going to be able to get along with Lyric? Was Lyric going to be able to get along with AJ? Yeah. Was Lyric going to feel like we weren't giving him enough love? And also, we were pregnant at the time too, so I was thinking, I don't want to do a child a disservice, if I'm not being able to give them the full attention that they need. And God just melted all those fears away, you guys. I know that He gives us what we could handle. He's not going to give us something we can't handle without Him. And I just prayed, Jesus, help me to show these children your love the way that you would love us. Help me pour out that. Help us pour that out upon them. And every day we still ask that, you guys. Yeah. It's been one of the most crazy, challenging things we've ever done. But like Jacob says, it is so, so worth it.
So that put us on the foster to adopt path. And honestly, I didn't really know too much about the foster care system, but we were about to learn a lot. So in order to have AJ in our home officially, we had to do a ream of paperwork about that thick. And we also had to have them come out to the house and inspect the house.
Inspect us too.
And so the questions were just very personal. We had to answer questions about our finances, and basically they just want to make sure that you're able to care for this child. But not only that, but these children are coming out of traumatic situations, so just the amount of grace that you need, I think, is very powerful. Yeah. So we finished the paperwork, and they came out to the house, and I'll just say a few things, but I remember they had to make sure that you had smoke detectors in every single room, that you had a fire extinguisher on every floor, that we had emergency supplies and food and water, that just in case the power went out. And we just went down the list and checked everything off, and we finally got our license.
Yeah, and that was super exciting. I know for me, just hearing my dad's experience through the foster care system was heartbreaking, just because of some of the homes he went into where he was abused, where he was neglected. And so I think that they go through these extensive background checks and just paperwork to make sure now, I appreciate that now, to make sure that they are being taken care of, that they're in a family that will actually care for them and not use them, if that makes sense.
So finally, AJ comes to live with us, and we immediately went from one boy to two boys. And we were thrust into the wonderful world of potty training and back to school shopping, because AJ was going to preschool at the time. And what's so cool is that he was just, I think because of his circumstances, he had to become really independent. So he just loved to ride the bus to school. He just loves school. The teacher said that he's got the biggest smile on his face and the best attitude when he goes to school. And I guess the potty training too. That was kind of new to us, because we're
still working on it.
We're still working on it. We were hoping that we had a couple of years with Lear.
I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't realize how hard it would be. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, just trying to be perfect for him, trying to be the perfect mom for him, or the perfect person. And that you can't do that to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do that. You just need to be who God made you to be. And again, ask for that grace and that love to pour out to them.
And they just need love.
That's what they need, is
that
love.
Stable family home, because kids thrive in that. And I can honestly say that we could give that despite all the challenges. We can provide that for them.
So AJ was 4 when we got him, and he still is 4 now. He actually turns 5 next month, which is crazy. We're gonna have a big old party for him. Hi, Mamacita. Hi, baby. But we got him, and he was the same size as our 2-year-old. Now, Lyric's a little bit on the taller end of the 2-year-old. And chunky. And AJ, he's more on the smaller side because of his Down syndrome, which is just a little bit slower in development. The only word that we heard him say clearly when he got with us was car. He loves cars. But he's made so much progress since he's been with us, which is so encouraging to us. But he's been saying baby.
And
pizza, which is his favorite. His favorite food is pizza. His two favorite words are pizza and car. But it's just such an awesome thing to see him grow, and he's definitely shed off some of those baby pounds as well.
So like we've been saying, we went into this with the intent to adopt, and that was always the intent from the very beginning. So monthly the caseworker would come and check on them, and then we had indicated like, okay, is it time that we can adopt? And of course COVID-19 has been going on since last March, so that hasn't exactly made things easier. So we just asked like, what are the chances of getting a court date? And we were able to get a court date, and the court date was June. So from start to finish, it took about 10 months. And I think with everything going on in the world, that's actually pretty quick. So after the official business on Zoom, we had the court hearing on Zoom. After that was finished, we took him outside for a big celebration.
So we really love the picture the Bible paints of us being grafted into God's family. And so to symbolize AJ being grafted into our family, we bought a beautiful tree. And we just had like his cousins and Lyric be a part of planning the tree together as a family, and it was such a beautiful day. That day we got to officially call him our son. He was always our son, like that was our intent, but just to make everything official, it was just so beautiful.
Well, we hope this video has been encouraging for you. We've wanted to share it for a while. We wanted to share pictures of AJ, but just due to OCS rules, we didn't, and so we finally can now.
Yeah. And if anybody was ever thinking about adoption or pursuing that, you guys, we encourage you to do so. There are so many kids out there that need a home. And if you feel that you could give them that love, and again, nobody's perfect, but just being able to just love on them. So many kids need it, so we highly recommend it.
Adoption is the heart of God. We definitely learned that in this process. And we gained a son, and Lyric and Lovely got a brother, and AJ got his forever home.
Are you guys ready to meet our AJ, who is now Axel Jacob Lincoln? You want to come in, AJ? Come on, Lyric.
Guys.
Come on, AJ.
Come here. Say hi.
Next to Mama, honey. Got him? Or say hi.
Hi.
AJ, you want to blow some kisses? Aww. Aww. Can you say hi?
Hi. Okay.
So this is our Axel Jacob Lincoln, and he is incredible, you guys. This little boy is full of life and wonderment. He's an explorer. He is sassy at times, and he is full of joy and passion, and he will just go. And he just went right before we started filming, right after we were getting him dressed, and he took a little spill right there. So, you like the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go to school?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like school? And do you love baby sister?
Yeah.
Baby, she's sleeping right now. She's sleeping. AJ, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite food to eat?
Me.
What do you like to eat?
Cookie.
A cookie? And what else? Pizza? Pizza! What? Can you do a dinosaur impression? Whoa! That was really good.
What kind of noise does a doggy make?
You love puppies, huh?
Hey, what kind of noise does a horsey make?
Yay! Yeah, good job, honey. Can you say, I love you? Ooh.
Give Daddy a kiss?
Say that. Give Daddy a kiss.
There.
We love you.
We love you.
Say, you're beautiful, baby, so shine like a star. Mwah. Can you blow kisses? Mwah.